I mean, he's been interesting so far, mostly because he keeps getting caught cold making stuff up and then refusing to take it back even when he gets really nailed on it. But I wonder if Scott Brown could be a constructively engaged Republican on this. I mean, there's a possibility that he really just doesn't understand what he's voting on and what he's talking about, and so he's not going to be constructive because he's not capable of it. But there's also the possibility that he just came across poorly in his recent interviews, and he might actually be interested in working with Democrats. Do you have a sense of which it is?
Well, look, the president and the White House clearly thinks it's the latter, right? Because the president's calling him from Air Force One today. And, you know, they got his vote on the jobs bill, which was one of his first votes, which signaled, I think, to people that, yes, you know, this is someone who might vote his state constituents' desires rather than, the Tea Party sort, etc. I mean, what's clear is that it's not just Scott Brown. A lot of people in the United States Senate, I can tell you from doing some reporting on this, have no clue about this bill. They have no clue about financial reform. They have no clue about what's good and what's bad. They are getting their talking points from the leadership. If you grabbed any of them, and this is actually on both sides of the aisle, and asked them about the details of this bill, they wouldn't do a lot better than Scott Brown. So I think it's going to be one of these decisions that ultimately the leadership's going to be making at the top that's going to filter down.
That is so depressing. So depressing. I will tell you, I have found that what you just described on the financial reform legislation, when I have talked to senators, not staffers, but actual senators, off air, off camera, off the record, about filibuster reform, I have found the exact same thing, a shocking level of just basic ignorance on what it is that they do for their jobs. It's sometimes amazing.
A lot of it is, there's a lot of specialization which takes place. So if you're dealing with an issue with a sitting legislator and it's not their committee, you know, that's not something they're going to have a real deep command of, particularly when you're dealing with something as complex as this.
Good reminder. Very depressing. Chris Hayes, Washington editor of The Nation, thank you for your time tonight and for using interlocutor in a sentence so well. Appreciate it.
We always try to bring it. Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you.